If these issues are so important to you, you are the sitting vice president of the United States. Do it. Do it now. Do it tomorrow. But do it and quit, trying to convince us that you're going to do something that we know you're not going to. We know that you're not going to tighten up the border. That was already supposed to have happened. And all you want to do is you want to keep talking about how you're going to have a bipartisan deal where both sides of the aisle are going to come together because Donald Trump stopped the last bipartisan legislation to go through for border security. You guys just undid what Trump did. And now you're trying to figure out a way to get it back in order because you messed up.
Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. We are here. We are fast moving. It's the fastest hour in podcasting. We were the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. Hell, if we did 5 hours, we would be the fastest 5 hours in podcasting. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, and of course, Projo. Once again, that's Megan Marie Moret. Nobody can say it faster, more clearly than I can. We're here Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays now, 9 to 10 a.m. Central. You can catch our content Monday through Friday on all of the sites, not only on the usual audio platforms, but also on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, on X, on Rumble. And I'm sure there's other places we are as well. We're glad you're with us. Did you have a good weekend, Megan? Because we're joining everybody on a Monday.
Great weekend. I started it off with my favorite peeps. You guys had a little, lunch at our favorite spot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did do that.
A little meeting / lunch, fun, business, all of it. So that was a good kickoff.
Yeah, you drank a tequila in like 5 minutes. You drank a big tequila and a margarita.
Yeah.
I saw him pouring the shot.
Yeah, you did?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Double.
Good. No wonder it started my weekend off great. Love it.
I'm telling you this, it was good to catch up. I can't do that. If I day drink, I had one drink and I was shot for the rest of the day. If I do, I'm out for like a couple hours. It's like I need a nap. And if I don't get a nap, then we're going to have problems because I'm getting old. That's what happens. But good week of myself. Just hung out. Didn't do a whole lot.
Good.
Hung out with some friends.
Sleep?
Yeah, kind of. Megan and I was with Megan most of the weekend. Saw her friends, sports, that kind of thing.
Good.
All good. I know what Projo did all weekend, so I'm glad he's here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Did you get some rest?
Can you show Projo? Can we show everybody, or do we have your camera hooked up?
My camera's not. I had so much other things.
Dude, you keep saying
I'm getting it now.
Okay, what did you do all weekend that you were so busy? People like to know what Joe's up to.
I just mowed the lawn, man.
I was going to say some yard work.
You must have 10 acres.
Yeah, right. I wish.
I was busy all weekend. I mowed my yard. By the way, congrats to the Olympic team. They won the overall medal count. They blew away what they did in Tokyo, which is great, but they tied with China. China, 40 gold medals overall, but they dominated the overall medal count. I was on our pre-show saying congrats to the women, 65% or higher of the gold medals to the women. The women carried it, and to the soccer team. And you know what I loved about the soccer team? They stood for the national anthem. And Joe, can you pull up the picture I sent you? Did you get the one I sent you from Brittany Griner? See if you can find that one. Did you see it?
I don't think so.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, yeah. I had it. It must not have went to you. I'll find it. But the United States women's soccer team, they're different than what they used to be. Megan Rapinoe, and they're different. Oh. They stood, they sang, and they had their hands around their partners or their hearts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hell yes, I absolutely love this.
Just goes to show that, you get rid of a cancer and things change. She's gone. Megan's gone. She's not bullying her
She was at the event.
Yeah. But I think that she really pressured a lot of those girls to do some of the silly crap that they were doing for a few years.
Anyway, I love to see it. I couldn't find, I'm looking for the picture. I must have deleted it. If I can find it, I will. But even Brittany Griner, who used to stand, or she used to go on a knee, she would sit on a freaking knee or kneel on a knee, would not acknowledge our American flag or talk about this country in the red, white, and blue or be patriotic. After spending 10 months in a Russian prison, guess what? That woman stands now, heart covered by her hand, because the United States women basketball team, oh yeah, they also won the gold too. The soccer team, they won the gold because the women are badass and our men are not. They're just not. And she was crying, singing the national anthem.
Yeah.
Brittany freaking Griner.
I love it.
You can have comebacks. Yes. You can have comebacks if you want them. And she was a perfect example of what can happen. And I just love seeing it.
We did not take gold, though, for breaking, did we? I believe it was Japan.
For breaking?
Yes.
Did you watch breakdancing? I can't get into it. I'm sorry.
That could be the funniest thing I have ever seen.
It should be club dancing
in my life.
You can tell it wasn't the best of the best.
No. It's like, where did these people come from?
No,
Right.
I mean, I could have gotten out there and spun around on my head like that and gotten a medal, probably.
No,
I mean,
I get it.
Yeah, that was funny.
I did forget to tell you, I had something done for me this weekend that I could not believe it was done.
What?
I told you that Megan's always done my fingernails.
Yes.
I know this is a political show, but we'll get into it in a second.
Did you get a pedicure?
I got a manicure.
Nice.
And there it is. She actually was doing my toes.
Oh my God. So not a professional. You had a pedi by
Well,
Megan.
it's a professional by her.
Okay.
But
I like it. She's a devoted gal right here. That's devotion.
People, I could not believe, because she would not touch feet. And I don't think anybody should touch anybody else's feet.
I agree.
Yeah, and they shouldn't.
She's good.
And Megan, I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. Why is she doing this? Well, anyway, probably because my toes look so bad.
Did you have talons that you could go down and
No, I don't have
something
talons.
up? Are you sure?
No, I don't do that stuff.
Back scratchers?
I get it done.
Was she asking you to scratch her back?
Oh my God. Yeah, Logan says he loves pedicures. Anyway, we love everybody being here. That's what I did. Congrats to the Olympics. They did a pretty good Olympics. France did. Congrats to France, even though the opening ceremony sucked. Americans did well. Okay. The Olympics in 2028. Here they go in LA. We'll see if so much is going on. Let's get through 2024 first before we see.
I think they should have a team of which country can pick up needles and bag them the fastest throughout LA County. Wouldn't that be? So it'd be like 3, 2, 1, go, and see how many dirty needles you can pick up off the street. I'd be down for that. I'd be a supporter, a donor.
Oh, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, okay, here coming up on the show, guys, real quick. JD Vance schools Dana Bash and CNN as he was trying to rip him from his comment from 3 years ago. By the way, who says that? Susan says, you look so refreshing today. You do. You look good. No, you do. Are you doing your hair?
Me or Vic?
You.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Megan, you look so refreshing. Or Megan, you look so refreshing today.
Oh, it does say that.
Are you doing your hair different today?
I have a side part today.
I like the side part.
Thank you. I did side part forever, and then it was middle, and now I flip flop. So,
I like it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Kamala, a lot about Kamala lying, trying to deflect lies, stealing Donald Trump policy, and getting in front of a campaign sign that was spelled wrong. We'll get to that. Big interview tonight. We'll talk about Donald Trump, Elon Musk. What do you want to hear from that? Is there anything that you think that could come out of that which could sway voters? We'll get into that. That's coming up tonight as well. Donald Trump with more policy, that he just continues to put out policy after policy while Kamala says the same thing at every event, the exact same script. And we've already told you she's not the sharpest tool in the shed or the brightest bulb, but it is what it is. So she's got to work with what she can work with and then let the media take it from there. Also, the fake story of Michael Brown reared its ugly head again over the weekend in St. Louis. And I say the fake story because he was not murdered. Yet these liars, cheaters, scammers, divisionists, and racists still want you to believe that Michael Brown is a hero, that he's a martyr, and he's not. We'll talk about that story. While an officer fights for his life because you had a bunch of thugs, rioters, paid actors to go start shit in Ferguson because they don't have anything better to do. And now you have police in Ferguson and African-American community members saying, stop it. We don't want your bullshit here, George Soros and the rest of you. Get out. Because now a man's fighting for his life. And if he does live, may be affected because you had dumbasses lying about Michael Brown. He is not, I repeat, he is not a martyr. And on this show, we will make sure people understand that he was not, oh, that poor little boy. He was a thug. There was video that showed he was a thug. And he started shit. He FO'd. And the Obama-led DOJ tried to convict the officer that was involved in that police, and they couldn't. Wesley Bell tried to, and he couldn't. The right decision was made. So sorry, I
Yeah.
get very, very fired up
I do too,
when
Vic.
we have an officer who is fighting for his life because rioters came out to do shit, didn't protest peacefully. They came out to start trouble, and then now you have an officer fighting for his life. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's where I don't even know. Do we start with that? Do we finish it since I got so passionate with it?
Yeah, let's go. Since we're on fire about it.
I do. I get frustrated because you remember it's the 10-year anniversary. Michael Brown went in and robbed a gas station. He went and there was video of him pushing around a little owner,
Yep.
all by himself. This poor little man. The hands up, don't shoot. It was all a lie, never provable. But they did it to try to change the narrative.
Yeah.
I asked Michael Brown's dad at an interview rally years ago in Clayton. So I said, are you telling me that Obama and his DOJ got it wrong? And he's like, absolutely, they got it wrong. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. They went after the officer who deserved a much better situation than what he got.
Absolutely.
Wesley Bell ran for St. Louis County prosecutor on the idea that he would reopen the case. He did. It was one of the first things he did. And guess what? Wesley said, there's no evidence to convict this man.
Yep.
All the evidence was against Michael Brown. And if there was ever a case where charges would have been brought, it would have been that case.
Yep.
And it wasn't. So sorry, Michael Brown. And all the evidence actually showed that Michael Brown reached through a window, grabbed a gun, and he got shot in the process.
Yeah.
He's not a hero.
Yeah. What kind of officer wants to take and try to arrest a 6'4", God knows how many pound man and arrest him through his door? No officer does that. I mean, that just doesn't even make any sense. And, nobody wants to talk about the fact that he was an adult. He had turned 18 3 weeks before the incident occurred. So he was an adult. And, many people tried to say, well, we want to know what his record was, and I agree that should have been substantial in regards to if he was a criminal. Then they tried to protect his record because he was a juvenile, but they were able to get in. And even, Snopes got in and, made a statement and talked about his former charges. And they go back to burglary, first degree. They go from armed criminal action, assault, first degree, another armed criminal action. So this man, he was a young man, but he was running in a circle where he shouldn't have been. And instead of talking about that and trying to get in the Al Sharptons and people like that, getting in and saying, you know what, we really have to start where the problem is, occurring. And that's in the neighborhoods. These kids are they're not these ideal kids that are going off to college and, the way that they tried to make him sound. He was a criminal. It's not trying to be mean. It's not trying to say anything that's not true. He was a criminal, whether he was a juvenile or an adult. And he was doing criminal behavior that day. And he fit the description. And when he was confronted, he wasn't having it. And then they tried to say that, that Darren Wilson tried to arrest him through a door.
Yeah.
All of it was a lie. The hands up, don't shoot. They confirmed that wasn't true either. And now they want to come out 10 years later and protest what? Protest what? They're not worried about getting into their community and making changes and making sure that this doesn't happen again to another young Black man. They're not doing that. They're not trying to create change. They just want to point fingers, run around, destroy things, hurt people. And then they expect us to have some kind of sympathy for this. It makes no sense. I don't care if he's white, Black, brown, whatever color. I don't think that any criminal should have bridges named after him, monuments named after him, streets named after him. That just makes absolutely zero sense to me. And how can you, try to make people feel sympathetic towards a topic like this? You just can't.
You can't. And it's very interesting. Here's an impassioned plea from the Ferguson Police Chief, Troy Doyle, with Wesley Bell sitting right behind him, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I promise you, we'll get off the Michael Brown stuff because people say if we only got an hour, we don't want to waste it on Michael Brown and the thugs that are not responsible for an officer who we hope doesn't have brain damage if he does live. Listen to the police chief talk about everything now, and this will sum it up.
My team got out there and was assaulted by a number of the protesters that were out there on the scene. As a result, one of my police officers suffered a severe brain injury.
Okay, I guess we're trying to get that. Joe, let us know we can get that sound up. Troy
They can hear
Doyle.
you.
Oh,
fighting for his life. And I'm gonna break away a little bit from what I was planning to talk about. This police department, this Ferguson Police Department, since 2014, has been a punching bag for this community. The police department back in 2014, we don't even have them officers here anymore. So what are you protesting? These officers not even here no more. Everything that the activist community has advocated for, as far as body-worn cameras, implicit bias training, crisis intervention training, all this stuff, we have done all of this. What are we protesting? What is it? We even changed the uniforms at this police department because people said that the old uniforms triggered people. What are we doing? 10 years later, I got an officer fighting for his life. It's enough, and I'm done with it. We're not doing it here in Ferguson. Our community is united behind us. Our community is fed up. We want to heal. Our community want to heal. We want people to peacefully protest, but we damn sure ain't going to allow you to destroy this city, and we ain't going to allow you to hurt none of these police officers.
all right. Troy Doyle, Police
good.
Chief Ferguson. That's because his officer, Travis Brown, in the hospital fighting for his life because you had a bunch of thugs again protesting what? Just the idea of Michael Brown because they're looking for trouble. They're looking to cause problems. And even though we don't have proof of it, would not be surprised because there was proof when these riots happened so many years ago that there were paid actors from Chicago, New York, and other places around the country. So thank you, Police Chief Troy Doyle.
And, just listen to what he said. They even changed their uniforms.
Sad.
Because it triggered people. These people don't have a trigger. That's caused from uniforms. They wake up and they're triggered. They're mad about everything. They're mad at the world and they just want to go out and stir up trouble. And when this happened 10 years ago, there were 3 Black police officers in the Ferguson Police Department. They have it now up to 65%. They have Black officers. So they are trying to create change. They're doing what they're supposed to. The community is not. And it's shameful. And I loved what he said. And I hope that it resonates with people.
Yeah,
I
we
really
hope it
do.
does too. And you know what? Once again, we've told you what the true story is with Michael Brown. Nobody could freaking find a shred of evidence. And since his name was mentioned, Darren Wilson will say it. Credit and respect to Darren Wilson for having to deal with everything. Thoughts and prayers with Darren Wilson and his family for everything that he has had to endure over the past years, which is just sad. This is canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, Projo in the house as well. Glad you guys are with us on Rumble, on Facebook, on YouTube, TikTok. We are other places like X. We're grateful for that. Okay. Once again, and Glenn says, by the way, the media is 100% responsible for not exposing the truth after they spewed all the lies. That's because local media management were cowards. They were cowards. I wasn't in St. Louis. I came right after, but they could have handled it differently. But they're like, oh, no, we got to be, we don't want to upset certain people. But that's how local media managers are.
Yeah.
They act like cowards a lot. And then they try to take you down. If you say something against media, they'll try to find a way to come after you. Or they'll try to come after you through other people because that's what they do instead of giving you the full story. Anyway, Kamala Harris is something else. We already know this. It's so bad what Kamala and her team are doing. I have to show this first of all. Can we show the Donald Trump and Kamala Harris side-by-side picture, Projo? Here's what's going on. Remember a few weeks ago when Donald Trump gained a whole lot more support when he said, we will not tax tips when I am president. Massive, massive popularity because Donald Trump talks policy. He is creative and he puts it all out there for people to see. Guess what Kamala is doing now? She's got a lot of names. She's the chameleon, as Donald Trump calls her. You can call her copycat Kamala now, because Kamala is now going to copy everything Donald Trump does, because we already know how most Democrats are. They can't come up with original policy. They'll rip what Donald Trump is doing and then try to take it as their own. Just listen to this.
When I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips.
When I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Yeah, Kamala. The Kamala campaign is such a utter disgrace right now. It's a disaster. It doesn't matter because the media is still going to say, oh, she's great. She's the Messiah. And Tim Waltz, who, by the way, is gay, and it's all right to be gay. Just admit it. Just admit it, Tim. We'll get to it. You're gay, and it's fine. Just stop lying to the American public like Barack Obama did. That's all we're asking for. And case in point, look at Tim on stage the other day, guys. Here it is. We'll show you a few times. Hi.
So obnoxious. Look at him. He looks like that comedian Leslie, a taller, Leslie.
Leslie Nielsen.
No, my little short guy that I just love. He passed away year before last.
He was like Texan or something.
Yeah, he reminds me of a tall version of him.
Yeah.
Last week, and we just keep playing it. Last week, Laura Loomer reported that gay nightclub owners in Minnesota are saying, we don't know why he just won't admit that he's gay. He has a wife, and just if you're running for public office, your personal life becomes public. It just is what it is. Why won't he just admit it? And that's fine. And you should be, and you're accepted if that's who you are. Just don't lie, because we can't have the continual lies happening with the Kamala campaign.
Oh my gosh. Hey, but I hate to say that I told you so, but last
and we can
week,
go back. Yeah.
I said that they were doing, Project Reprogram Kamala Harris, and they are just sitting back and they are just waiting to see what Trump's policies are going to be, what the hot topics are, what people are responding to, and just trying to, come right behind him and basically, like they're saying, just copy right off of him. So I think that they're just sitting back, taking notes. That's why she's not saying a whole lot, because they're just trying to get a feel of what is going on and what people, are like, what's the top 5 things that people are wanting to talk about. They're finding out that independence and the right, they don't want to talk about abortion as much as they do. They don't want that to be the only, thing, policy that's going to make a difference.
Well, Trump called her out on it over the weekend too on True Social. Oh yeah, no taxing the tips.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder where we first came up with that idea.
Yeah, and then also she said that she wants to raise minimum wage. So, that's another thing. Yeah, I mean, I just think that her campaign is sitting back and they're just waiting and watching, and they're going to just make her the biggest flip-flopper copycat of all time. It's
so sad, but once again, local media, national media will not call it out. They just won't call it out. They won't even show you, and they won't show you Tampon Timmy, who is one of the most just obnoxious political candidates we've ever seen. He's a yeller, he's a screamer, he lies, and then of course we're being told he has a backstory of being gay. We don't care if you're gay, just be honest. We're tired of all the lies. Speaking of which, lies, check out all the pictures. Kamala Harris has been out on the campaign trail. She's been doing rallies, and her campaign is sending out pictures of these sold out venues, which is a lie. Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one. We've got certain pictures. For our viewers on the podcast, you can see these pictures.
Cheap fakes.
For our listeners, we're explaining them to you. And it's very interesting, the whole concept of who they're making. Joe, you can continue to show all the other pictures that we've got, but they're lying about who's showing up and big, massive events. They scroll. Faces are distorted. There's
Oh.
lots of, I guess you would say, diversity.
Mhm.
It looks like people went and grew up in Chernobyl when there was a nuclear.
That one gal's got one eye, one big cyclops eye.
The fake crowd. People, we're having fun with this, but it's scary to me because this is what the Democratic ticket is.
Mhm.
They're all lies. It's all lies. It's manipulated media. It's manipulated ratings. It's manipulated everything to try to get their person in because they can't have Donald Trump in the White House.
Mhm.
It's the deep state, the cabal.
Oh my
Or
God.
maybe these are the
I'd
real
be
Kamala
mad.
followers.
If someone did that to my picture, I'd be mad. I'd be,
And they're just lie. It's lie after lie after lie. And this isn't just our opinion. We're showing you facts. Other shows and lib, whatever you want to call them, will give their opinion, but they won't show facts.
no. And
We show facts. We're about facts, not feelings.
the funniest thing about this is that any given crowd at any of her rallies, she could stand up there and she could say, and not only are we going to not have taxes on tips, we are going to raise every family in America a 25% tax if you have a dog because of the glaciers that are melting and they are contributing to the deterioration of the ozone layer. And everybody would go, whoa, yay, and then she could turn around at the same time and she could say, we are closing the border today. No more immigration until further notice. And her crowd that has been open border, for the last several years, they'd go, woo, woo. Now, can you imagine though, if Trump got up there at a rally and he's like, hey, you know what? I've been thinking about this and I'm going to go ahead and say that we need to keep our border open. There's a lot of people that are coming here. They've been destitute in their own country, and we need to be the welcoming America that we've been for the last 4 years. Can you imagine his crowd? They would go nuts. They'd be like, what are you talking about? So, at least the right, I truly believe, would hold Trump accountable if he was trying to do this. If he became this copycat, this flip-flopper going back and forth, people would be, they'd be protesting against Trump. They'd be like, what's wrong with you? You've lost your dang mind. But these people showing up at the Harris rallies, they don't even know what they're there for. She literally could be saying anything and they'd be hooting and hollering, going along with it because they don't even know what her policies are. She's completely gone the other direction and acting as though she has had nothing to do with Biden for the last 4 years.
But that's not it. There's more. There's more. Not only stealing Trump's policy, not only using fakes, she has also denied now that she was trying to raise money for BLM and Antifa rioters in the past few years. Raise money for them because of being arrested for what they had done and times that they were arrested. And how do we know? Well, there's proof. All you have to do is go back and look at her tweets. She's getting caught at every single turn. And guess what? If it were Donald Trump, it would be a worldwide story. This is why you can't trust national media and why they are bad, because they don't give you they don't give you fair news. I know because I worked in it for 25 years and it's sad. It is absolutely sad what is going on. Kamala is now denying that she raised bail money for Antifa and BLM rioters. But I guess she forgot this tweet, quote, if you're able to, chip in now to the MN Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. Kamala, we got you again. You're a fake, you're a phony, you're a liar, you're a sleazebag. You shouldn't be anywhere near the White House, but we know why, because you were selected, you were put on a ticket, and now you are there. And just a few weeks ago, you were the most unpopular president in the vice president in the history of this country. And then we're supposed to believe a month later, oh, you're going to beat Donald Trump in an election? I think not. Once again, the lies are being exposed. Whether people and Americans listen to them, we don't know. We're going to do our part. We're going to try to get the word out.
And while this was going on, while these riots were happening, Waltz is in his beautiful, town of Minneapolis, Minnesota, allowing this to happen, allowing for these riots to basically just completely collapse his entire city.
I'm glad you brought that up. Did you see the Minneapolis mayor?
Yeah, well, he was like, "Hey, man, you're late to the game."
He
Where
called
were
him
you?
out.
Yes,
He
sure
asked for
did.
help.
He asked for help. He wasn't doing it, but guess what he was doing? He was keeping children home from school. He was not allowing anyone to go to school. He was making sure that you were staying 6 feet apart. He was making sure that you had your masks on. He even set up a tattletale snitch hotline that you could call if you saw any of your neighbors leaving when they should not have been, leaving to go to church, leaving to go to the grocery store. Or were these neighbors, did you see any cars pull up? Did you see that these neighbors had any visitors? He set up a snitch hotline, so that he could try and control this whole, pandemic and just cause so much harm to his entire state. Meanwhile, these thugs are out, burning his city down and just turning it into a complete dumpster fire. So this guy, he makes absolutely no sense. And his Democratic mayor, he's also a Democrat, said, "Hey, bud, where were you? We asked for help. You're way, way late, and look what has happened." And you know what? The guy, he has no shame. He's unapologetic. He does not care. And he's kind of a little flip-flopper too. He can't make his mind up on gun law. He wants to be this big hunter. He wants to go out and, show everybody his guns and talk about how he wants to shoot. Yet, he wants to make sure that there is a ban on guns. Now, some of his gun law, though, Vic, I will say that, I can't say that I would be against, the universal background checks for gun transfers for, people that have a red flag, next to their name.
I know.
For things like that, but that's not the bigger picture. That's not what he's trying to do.
And my big deal is that the Kamala campaign is trying to stick up for him. And once again, I wonder, with the rumors about him being gay and being now the most liberal governor in America, being selected to a ticket by Barack Obama, it all kind of adds up.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. Sounds a lot like Barack Obama.
Yeah.
We will continue to follow that, but we're not done. The Kamala campaign also now says that Timmy Tampon misspoke. Oh, he just misspoke about his military service. The stolen valor of Timmy Tampon. Oh, he just misspoke. And we're going to move on now. Yes, they had to address it. The lying campaign actually had to say that one of their own was lying. Once again, this is what you get from Kamala Harris and her crew. And I'm sorry. I do know some people who I think are really good people who are Democrats. And, I understand that when you get brainwashed, it happens for a lot of years, and that the Democratic Party has changed massively and that it's been hijacked. And it's sad because competition is good. It is good. And there is none when it comes to the Democratic Party right now. But remember, they are running a lying, cheating, scandalous campaign right now, and with no checks and balances from anybody that's down the center or the media. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna call them out on that. So Timmy just misspoke on the stolen valor, which is not only is it a lie, but it is so disrespectful to military veterans and those who have served and their families who sacrificed while their loved ones were serving. But hey, once again, that's what you get.
Yep.
With that team. There you go. But guess what? That's not it from the Kamala campaign. I tell you, they're the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, yes.
Check out this. Kamala was at an event in Louisiana last week, speaking. And this is not AI. This is not a doctored photo. This is a legit, real photo.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
Everybody, look, this is what this campaign is about. Now, they've never been accused, and Democrats have never been accused of being very intelligent when it comes to, they're schemers. Yes, intelligent when it comes to scheming. But check this out. I'm assuming everybody can see where the mistake was made. President Kamala Harris, right underneath it says, New Orleans, comma, what is that? Louisiana? There's a letter missing, people.
Louisiana.
We're missing an I.
That's Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Now
she would probably try to say that she did that on purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah, for her accent, for her accent effect.
Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What a bozo. They really are. And you know what? They're getting away with this. They are just gliding right along. They are just riding this wave just so effortlessly. I just don't understand. And
It's
that's
idiocracy.
This is
It
the worst
is.
campaign in the history of America with the worst president and vice presidential picks that we have ever seen. And the American people are having this thrown at them. We credit those who see through the bullshit. Of course, we're trying to help you see through that crap. But for those who don't, man, oh man, they just like to stick their head in the sand because they hate Trump. They hate Republicans. Blah, blah, blah. Yikes. Tiny says, very true, very smart, but no common sense. Huge liars. Oh, bummer, running everything. It is clear as day as we see right now. Accuse others of what you're doing, but steal their policies as they're doing with Donald Trump. But guess what? Trump is so damn good and so quality. He's already done the job and he did it well to an A. Dude got an A for being president. No doubt about it. And now he's running again. Yet we're going to believe that this souped up media campaign with a woman that is being sold as something that she is not is going to win. I think not. Trump came out this morning on top of his idea for no taxing of tips. He now says that when he's president, there will be no tax for seniors on Social Security, and he can do it. So thank you. Thank you, Donald Trump, for continuing to be proactive, not reactive, when it comes to policy and showing how you are by far not only the best candidate in this election, but the best person in America to be president.
He's going to see how far they'll copy him.
Yeah. Well, what Kamala, it might not be verbatim the exact same thing, but it'll have something to do with maybe, something with Social Security or some Medicare or Medicaid, or she'll do something. She'll be right, because she's just going to keep trying to target the same audience that he's going after with everything. And she doesn't care. She don't even know what she's talking about. She's just repeating whatever her handler, Obama, is telling her to say. They'll do anything. And we know that because they are capable of doing anything as long as Donald Trump does not get in again. And Joe Biden, the poor guy, he let it slip. I mean, he told us what we all knew, that, his own party, his own people, basically told him, if you don't go, we're going to lose. If you stay in this race, we are not going to win, and Donald Trump will be back in office.
Megan, there was a coup. We all knew it.
Yep.
And I'm glad you bring it up. Joe, when you get a chance, show that sound. He just admitted. He flat out admitted that he was he's still the president, and he looks so feeble. Remember, people, as Megan said, this is your president right now.
Look,
defeated.
The polls we had showed that it was a neck and neck race. Would have been down to the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races. And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why did Nancy Pelosi say, why did so, and I thought it'd be a real distraction. Look,
you want to take that, Megan?
Well, number one, the poor guy, he can't even give eye contact to the person that he is in an interview with. He is trying so hard to remember what they told him to say that he's looking off and just like trying to find the words, trying to find the right words. And, he had them. I mean, he let us know basically. So if I were to have stayed in the race, the topic would be, well, Nancy Pelosi told you that you shouldn't have. Chuck Schumer said you shouldn't have. Hakeem Jeffries said that you shouldn't have stayed in the race. Barack Obama said that you definitely shouldn't have stayed in the race. So, I mean, he's basically just saying, that's what would have happened. And we all know that they were afraid that he was going to let the cat out of the bag. And he pretty much just did. So I think it's not a surprise to most of us what happened. I never thought that he just woke up one day and was like, yeah, you know what, I got to do it.
Yeah, in a couple hours on a Sunday night.
Yeah, no, that is not what happened. They came in and said, hey, if you don't leave, we're gonna. I just have a feeling that they said we will invoke the 25th on you. I really, because he was so.
Or we give more
steadfast.
information on Hunter.
Yes, yeah, and the whole DOJ issue that's going on right now about the Burisma and all that. That's kind of coming back to light a little bit too. But yeah, I mean, I just think that he was backed into a corner that he could not get out of. And they were going to do anything that they needed to do to make sure that he got out of the race. And the reason why we don't hear a lot from him is because of interviews like this. He can't keep it straight. The truth is going to spill off of his lips, and they know that, and they're trying to keep a cap on him because God knows what he's going to say next. I mean, next thing you know, he'll be spilling the beans about who really tried to assassinate Trump. So they're not going to take any chances.
And they shouldn't. And this is why you can't trust anything that's going on right now with the Democratic Party. Well said, Megan. I can't agree with you anymore from all of that crap that's going on. But this happened. And of course, guess what? Where's the liberal media? Where's the liberal media talking about their precious Joe Biden? Literally, it was only a month and a half ago. He's gonna beat Donald Trump. He is a great man. He's gonna be so much better for this country. And we all know Democrats who were saying this.
Yeah.
They ran for the hills. They're not saying that anymore. They knew they were dead. They knew they were dead on arrival when it came to Joe Biden running, but they continue to try to believe the hype because they just don't like Republicans. That's why they're just not quality people when it comes to talking politics. I'm not saying that they're not quality people in general. They're not quality when it comes to talking politics, because you can't have anything unless you have truth. Without truth, you have no relationship. You have nothing. And these same people were trying to force Joe Biden down our throats 6 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden it changed.
Yeah. Well,
just
now
like that.
he doesn't exist anymore. You said, where's mainstream media? Where's
They're
liberal
not covering
media?
the story because they're fake.
Yeah. Joe Biden. What?
Local media, national media,
he's
fake
done.
news media.
He's out of the picture, even though he's our current leader and he's, in charge of us. He doesn't even exist anymore. It's all about Kamala and her being the saving grace and this, great woman that's going to come in and take over and be the first woman, the first Black woman, the first Indian woman, the first Indo-Asian woman. She's going to be all these firsts. And that is the only person that they're going to keep trying to keep our attention on. So if she is this great force and she is such a great leader, then why doesn't she go ahead? Right now, her administration is in charge. She's a leader. She really is a leader. So why doesn't she stop the taxes on tips now? Why doesn't she get stricter on border control now? Why is she waiting? Or why is she talking about this is what I will do? Excuse me, aren't you the vice president of the United States? Or are you just saying that you really don't have any pull? Like which way does it go? If these issues are so important to you, you are the sitting vice president of the United States. Do it. Do it now. Do it tomorrow. But do it and quit, trying to convince us that you're going to do something that we know you're not going to. We know that you're not going to tighten up the border. That was already supposed to have happened. And all you want to do is you want to keep talking about how you're going to have a bipartisan deal where both sides of the aisle are going to come together because Donald Trump stopped the last bipartisan legislation to go through for border security, which is bull crap. You guys just undid what Trump did. And now you're trying to figure out a way to get it back in order because you messed up.
Well, the New York Times,
she's not going to get any kind of anything from Joe Biden.
New York Times polling, Siena College poll, very much down the middle, at very much down the middle. Showing polling, and Trump is still dominating for what you want to do with polls when it comes to economy. And it's what he did the best. He is an economy guy. And there's nothing that I don't know. I know that the Democrats and Kamala will lie, cheat, steal, whatever they can. But what I have to do is look at the polling. In many polls, as much as 20 to 30% lead with people when it comes to the economy. And I guess we're not showing that graphic, Joe. We got to wake you up today, Joe.
Well, they did say that Harris is leading by a little bit in the 3 battleground states.
Not in this, yeah. In specific economy
Yes.
polling. And it's still higher than that. I promise you. Still higher than that. Still higher than that. And I love the fact that Trump continues to call out what are the lies. And tonight we have a massive interview with Donald Trump.
Ooh, I cannot wait.
she continues to not do interviews. And tonight at 8 o'clock on X, Elon Musk interviewing Donald Trump. The news broke at the end of last week, as we show you right there, that they would have an interview. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'll be watching 7 p.m. or excuse me, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. Elon, all he is saying is he promises that it's going to be entertaining. Two great minds talking politics, talking issues, talking solutions, talking policies. How big will the interview be? How many people will watch or get a watch or a show of that? I'm just grateful that it's happening. Kamala Harris, nowhere to be found, but Donald Trump going on. And you absolutely know Donald Trump will thrive in this interview. He will thrive.
Absolutely.
I'm just curious if there's anything people want to hear, what they want to see, what they want to talk about. I just hope that Donald Trump is talking right, that he hits the lies that the Kamala Harris team has done. I hope that he hits what has happened with her VP pick. And I hope he then focuses on everything that he did when he was president and everything that he will do now.
Yeah.
That's what I hope that he talks about tonight when it comes to who Donald Trump is. And I hope that Elon brings up and hits hard the assassination attempt on his life and the difficulty that the House committee has had and others in Congress at getting information about why it happened, what happened, how the Secret Service allowed this to happen, and how Donald Trump feels about that looking back. And if he's afraid when he goes out.
Yeah.
Because not enough can be made, because once again, if this was Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, that this happened to, we'd still be hearing about it until somebody was behind bars. And we know there are more people involved than just a 20-year-old kid.
Right. Well, like we were talking about Friday after the show, I think that he needs to be humanized. I think that these interviews need to start showing a human side of him. Elon, he's going to bring in lots of different viewers from lots of different demographics, age groups that are going to watch this. And we want to hear policy because we actually care about this country and we actually want to see America become great again. But there's a lot of people that simply just don't know what's going on. And all they do is hear from their left, progressive, liberal friends or family members that he's this horrible man and, bad orange guy, bad Hitler man, like all of these horrible things about him. And so what I would love to see is an opportunity for him to show, he's funny. I think he's funny as heck. And talk maybe about his family or, his pastimes and, just to kind of be a little bit more casual and not so ramped up. But to allow people to see that he truly does want to make America great again. And he'll do anything that he has to. And he's for the people. He's not for the deep state. He's not for the bureaucrats. He doesn't care about the families that have been in power for years and years and years. He's actually anti all of that. And so I think that people like Elon Musk, people like Joe Rogan, they need to start getting Trump out there and let people see who he really, truly is. Because when he's at rallies and he's on his campaign trail, he has to hit certain topics. He's got to use that time to make sure that people know, who he's up against. And he takes those opportunities to just, basically slam, Harris and now, Waltz being on the ticket.
He's been so calm, though. I know you're constantly talking about worried about him coming across too much. He's awesome in interviews.
No, he's been pretty good. The only thing that I don't like that he does, and maybe it's just me because I don't like when anybody does it, is when he starts getting like the name calling. I'm always just like, I agree with what he's saying 100%. But if you want to get people to listen to you, then there's a way. There's, you have to be measured. And sometimes, he loses a little bit of control. And those are the times that I worry because I want people to see the side of him that I think so many of us truly believe that he is. And, I think that tonight will be, hopefully a great opportunity for them to see that.
Yeah, we have no idea how long it will be, but we'll be checking it. Can't wait. Looking forward to that interview tonight with Donald Trump and Elon to bring out everything that they possibly can and continue to talk about the media to talk about messaging that's out there, fake media. The fake media continues, local and national. We talk about it. Case in point, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, we told you last week, was suing MSNBC for taking clips of him and saying that he was promoting Kamala Harris. Then it came out last week, as we also reported, that Joe Rogan was now supporting RFK Jr. for president. Rogan has come out and said that is false. He is not promoting RFK Jr. for president.
Yeah, he just said that he was a good guy.
He just said that he was a good guy.
Well, what he actually said was
Don't you have the quote?
Yeah, well, I just remember it, but he said that RFK was the only one that made any sense to him. Now, but you have to remember who Joe Rogan is, and he's kind of an eclectic guy himself, and a little bit of conspiracy theorist and things like that. So, I have to take what he says with a grain of salt. There's not a whole lot that RFK says that makes sense to me personally. More sense than Kamala Harris, yes. But a lot of, what he talks about, he kind of just like loses me, like the latest thing with taking the bear cub and he wanted to skin it and eat it and then left it in Central Park. And it's a 10-year-old mystery. I mean, it's like always something with these Kennedys, and then his, brain got eaten by a worm. So he, there's all of these things, but Joe Rogan did say, I never gave an endorsement. I just said that, he's a nice guy and he makes the most sense to me. So, so he's going, back after them and making sure that people know that he was not endorsing him. And you can think somebody's a nice guy but not necessarily think that they're going to be the best person to run the country. And that's what we're talking about.
What a
here.
great point. Terry says, who's interviewing who? Don't really see Elon as an interviewer.
Right, exactly.
But you know what? It'll be Elon's show. I see Elon doing so many podcasts. Joe and I were talking about this as well. He knows how to ask questions. He knows he's one of the most intelligent people on the planet. And it's more or less a conversation. Mm-hmm. And maybe this is his opportunity to dabble in being a host. Something else that he hasn't done a lot of, but his chance. And it's just so damn refreshing to get people who are willing to get truth out there, because we know old media just isn't the way to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's
old media.
That's for sure.
You're not getting the truth from all sides of the table, which is why, as we said, Tucker Carlson became so popular, which is why Rogan became so popular. Elon, very popular, now decides to get into politics, which we absolutely love. And that's what we love, those conversations, those talks where you really get to know somebody and how they feel. You know what? When you have a talk, or as the chat line says, a conversation or discussion, you find out about people, and it's more difficult just to have quote said lines or political lines. We've seen that with Kamala. She'll go from rally to rally and say the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Now, I believe in messaging, but man, it's just like a robot.
Word for word. She is right now, her speech from rally to rally is not varying at all. They did a side-by-side yesterday on Fox that I thought was an absolute riot, where they're showing her two different outfits, two different places, and literally saying word for word the same thing in her speeches. So, she definitely does not have a mind of her own. She definitely is working very hard to memorize what people are telling her, to say. And she'll say anything. She'll say anything that they tell her to say. And that is why she's not talking right now. And I don't think that she will speak or do an interview until after the DNC. I think that she's going to wait. She's going to wait for the crowds to go crazy and, have the best DNC that they've ever had, and then come out and say, okay, now this is where we stand on this, this, and this, as though it was all of her own idea. And as if like the, no tax on tips thing, that was their idea. Like they are just, sanding her down and polishing her up. And they're going to like present her like a debutante after the DNC. Here you go. It's gross.
Isn't there an analogy about you can't polish a certain something? Yeah.
Yep. Just like you can put lipstick on a pig and it's still a pig.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
By the way, something else maybe lost in all that. This will be the official return to X for Donald Trump as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it's kind of a big story that's coming full circle, coming right back around. Yeah, Gary, a turd. Thank you. I was trying not to say it, let somebody else say it, but there are opportunities. for Donald Trump to come back to X in such a huge, it's huge. It's going to be huge. Me and Elon, we're the best. We're so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. And, you know, and I hope that people from all sides tune in and take a listen, because I know he's going to kill it. He's going to rock it.
So we're going to check on that tonight. Also, oh, I hate this guy. I'm sorry. Hate is a strong word, but for everything that he did and how many people he was responsible for or given responsibility for. Dr. Fauci was making news again over the weekend, telling everybody that, yeah, I had COVID for the third time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care. He's been vaccinated and boosted 6 times.
Look, we've got Olympic runners that can run faster than the speed of light that have COVID. So big whoop. I mean, find something else to talk about and try to scare people with. We're over it. We're past it. And you know what? Why do you keep getting it if you had 18 cupcakes?
Exactly.
Why do you keep getting it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I thought it was supposed to be the end all. It was supposed to be the most amazing cure. And here we are. Everybody's got it, still talking about it. And they're going to try to, milk this for a long, long time.
I know. I've had that shit 3 times. You'll live. That coming up. Suck it up, Buttercup Fauci. Why he's still trying to stay in the limelight? Because of the arrogance and the ego. He was so important. I looked at that and I went, oh my God, how sickening is that? Sick that's happening. Lots of stuff happening over the weekend. I did want to get to something before we get out of here when it came to Trump. And I'll try to go through this as quick as possible. But we had the Trump campaign released kind of their beatitudes on who they are and what they're trying to do when he becomes president. So Joe will pop that up. We'll try to read through it as quick as possible, just so that people will remember who he is. President Trump's 20 core promises to make America great again. Seal the border, stop the migrant invasion, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. I'm getting chills. End inflation, make America affordable again. Make America the dominant energy producer in the world, which we can be. We have the resources. Stop outsourcing. Turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. We don't create that many goods here anymore. Large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips, which was his idea, not Kamala's. Defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedoms of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country, all made in America. Isn't that great to hear that?
I love the Iron Shield.
And the weaponization of the government against the American people. Stop the migrant crime epidemic. Demolish the foreign drug cartels. Crush gang violence and lock up violent offenders. Those are the top 10. This sounds like Donald Trump. This is not Kamala Harris. And 11 through 20.
And how can anyone not think that every single one of these is not brilliant and for the better of our country? How can anyone look at that and say, that's a really bad idea?
It gets better 11 through 20.
Are you going to go?
Rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful. Strengthening and modernizing our military, because we know what's happened to it. Without question, the strongest and most powerful in the world. Keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, which is going to be tough because we already see what's happening with BRICS, and we already saw what's happening with the petrodollar. There is a serious effort underway where we are really behind the 8 ball when it comes to keeping the petrodollar. Fighting for and protecting Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. Cancel the electric vehicle mandate. Thank you. And cut costly and burdensome regulations. Cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical inappropriation or radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content for children. Keep men out of women's sports. Deport pro-Hamas radicals. Thank you. Secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. And 20, unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. All of it.
Yeah, love it. Now, the last 5 is where you're going to lose the left liberals because they don't want to hear any of that. You know, they don't want to hear anything about critical race theory or protecting children in schools and making sure that, you know, there's no perverted ideologies being spread throughout our education system. That's where you're going to lose people. But, you know, I think it's brilliant. I think it's amazing. And you know what? He'll do it. He stands by all of those, and I can't wait to see him execute every single one of those.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to our advertisers and our sponsors. We're always looking for more to continue to do what we do. Our free speech network, which is what we do. You can make donations on your laptop. You can do it on your page. Anything helps getting the word out, and or sponsors. Complete Auto Body Repair is our show sponsor, and we are grateful for them. Auto Body and Repair, everything from your car, bumper to bumper, on the outside, on the inside, even tires. Give them a call, 314-731-7999. Or you can check them out online, completeab.com. But let them know you're from Cancel This. They love to hear that as well. Also, when it comes to any sort of accident that you have and it was not your fault, David Gregory, the conservative injury lawyer, you can contact him at conservativeinjurylawyer.com. 314-619-4230, literally promotes himself that way. By the way, he took care of me twice. I was hit twice. I talked to several attorneys. I settled on Dave, and it was the best decision I could have made. He called me up 6 months later and said, guess what? They owe you more money. I found another part. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Nobody does it better than Dave. You, a loved one, a family member, contact him. Let him know. At least give him a call, 314-619-4230. That's with cars, motorcycles, trucking, tons of experience. He wins. And if you bring up Cancel This, he's going to cut the fee that his office gets, the percentage, and he's going to give it to you. And he'll explain it all. Conservativeinjurylawyer.com. By the way, he was 7 for 7 in cases where people got to keep their jobs instead of being fired because they refused to get that shot. And you know what I'm talking about. WeQuipUSA.com. It's a place where you go, a website that connects you with others in your area if you're looking to rent products, rent things, or if you want to rent your products out. It's a great way to make money. WeQuipUSA.com. If you're grilling, there's no better charcoal to use than Rockwood Charcoal. It's made in Missouri. It is American charcoal. It is the #1 brand in America. 100% Missouri hardwood. It breaks apart your hand. No additives, no fillers. It's the best charcoal that you can use, and it grills up some mighty fine food. And speaking of good food, Capriati's, one of the best sandwich shops you're going to find. It's an original for the St. Louis area. The owner found it in Vegas and said, I'm bringing it to St. Louis. It's in Rock Hill on Manchester Road. Check it out. They do amazing catering. They roast turkeys overnight. They slice them every morning. The freshest, best turkey you're going to find. Terrific sandwiches. Capriati's, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We've had him in here. We'll get him in again. We'll let Joe check it out. Do you eat sandwiches though? I don't know. You're not a sandwich eater, are you? Yeah, but they're good. They're so damn good. So good. And when it comes to real estate, there's no better person to talk to right now. You got to get a plan in place. You need facts and you need to know what's going on, but you don't need to be beat down. Have an upbeat conversation with Megan Livingstone, 314-249-1708. That's 314-249-1708. Megan.Livingstone@exprealty.com. Once again, Megan.Livingstone@exprealty.com. She's going to set you straight. She's going to make sure you understand the facts. She's going to make sure everybody understands what the realities are. And of course, staying positive throughout the entire process is something that you have to keep in mind. You don't want to make a decision that you're going to regret later. Give her a call. All right. This is Cancel This, canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, Projo in the house. I hate only going about an hour.
I know.
But we're doing this because we're told it's what we need to do. So I can only imagine how people feel right now because we were the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. I guarantee we're the fastest hour.
Yeah, we are. For sure.
I guarantee. Is there anything else we missed?
Have faith in the process.
Anything else on your mind? Anything from that standpoint?
No,
that
we got everything on our list. Yeah.
Joe, Did we get to everything too?
There's the Joan Rivers daughter thing.
We're going to get to that when we I didn't even get to JD Vance.
Yeah.
You know what?
Which part?
I'm going to, I want to show the JD Vance interview. Can we show it? Yep. And if I get in trouble, I get in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Tamara and crew from Broadcaster.
Such a rebel.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. JD Vance with Dana Bash setting her straight. And then
Dana, I criticized his lying about his own record, okay? This is a guy who was captured on video saying, I carried a gun in war. He never went to war. This is a guy who's been captured on video. As other people say, he's an Afghanistan veteran. He's a veteran of a war, nodding along in agreement instead of saying, no, I did serve my country and I did it honorably, but I never went to a war zone. I'm not criticizing Tim Walz's service. I'm criticizing the fact that he lied about his service for political gain, Dana. You've now asked me 3 questions about comments that I made 3 years ago. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she supported policies that opened the American southern border. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she lied to the American people about Joe Biden's middle facility for the office. You are interviewing me, Dana, because I respect the American people enough to sit down for an interview.
I appreciate that.
Kamala Harris has been the nominee for 3 weeks. She hasn't sat down for a real interview.
Believe me, we are asking. You're not going to get a disagreement
there. But the point is, Dana, you've got me for 15 minutes or however long you have me. We should be talking about public policies that matter. How are we going to lower inflation? How are we going to reduce the cost of food and housing? How are we going to close down that southern border? We've talked so little about that. We've talked a lot more about a sarcastic remark I made 3 years ago. I think we should talk about the issues that most Americans care. Kamala Harris is whatever she says she is, but I believe importantly that President Trump is right that she's a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing in front of one audience. She pretends to be something different in front of another audience. Look, Dana, she's not running a political campaign. She's running a movie. She only speaks to voters behind a teleprompter. Everything is scripted. She doesn't have her policy positions out there. She hasn't answered why she wanted to ban fracking, but now she doesn't. She wanted to fund police, but now she doesn't. She wanted to open the border, but now she doesn't. She should have to answer for why she presents a different set of policies to one audience and a different set of policies to another audience. And I think that's what President Trump is getting at. This is a fundamentally fake person. She's different depending on who she's in front of. Dan, I criticize people for not having kids. I criticize people for being anti-child. And I do think that Kamala Harris has made some bizarre statements. She has said things like, it's reasonable not to have children over climate change. I think that's the exact opposite message we should be sending to our young families. I want to expand the child tax credit. I want to stop those surprise medical bills. I want to make housing more affordable so that if you have a young family, you can actually afford to put them in a home. And I think that it is unfortunate that so much of our public leadership has become anti-family. One final point on this, Dana. If you go back to the COVID era, one thing that really frustrated me, please.
Are you going to debate Tim Walz?
Of course. I want to debate Tim Walz. I think it's important. And I think that it goes to a very fundamental difference between the Trump-Vance ticket and our opposition. We believe in talking to the media. We believe in answering questions. We believe in debating. I think it's really important. I mean, look, I'm asking the American people to make me their vice president. It's really important to stand before the American people to make that case, and I'm going to keep on doing it in whatever forum I get the opportunity. So
we look forward to it. Thank you so much for sitting down and taking.
Yeah, that's the best VP candidate anywhere.
This is why Trump picked him. If anybody ever wondered, I mean, it's solidifying it for me. I'll tell you, he's just got a certain grace about him. But he drives the point home for sure. So, I mean, I just love it. I think it's great. I still would have loved to have seen him just demolish Kamala in a debate. I would have. I mean, Trump's going to do it, in his own right, but those two together would have been great. He's going to be, the problem with Walz is he's not going to be able to get a word in edgewise. I think if they're going to have to cut the mic on anybody, it's going to have to be Walz.
It's going to be, I told you last week it would be bad between those two. I mean,
I think that's going to be a dirty one. I really do.
Anyway, we love you guys. Hey, thanks for being a part of the show. Megan, you rocked it as always. Joe, thank you again. You rocked it so much. We'll be back again tomorrow, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Central. Let us know if there's certain topics you want to get to. Mondays are usually a big day. Lots going on. Can't wait to see what we're going to get tomorrow. So we love what we do. We hope it shows. We're grateful for you guys and all of your support. And by the way, you can check out all of our content too. We may be a little bit shorter, but we have content rolling now on Facebook, and our reels will be going on YouTube, Rumble. We'll have it on TikTok, X. We will be all over the place. That's all part of what we're doing, just trying to get bigger, stronger, better as we lead into election time 2024 and beyond. So for Pro Joe and Megan Marie Moret, I'm Vic Faust. Have an awesome day, guys. Talk to you later.